podcast crew studio. Give them a like on Instagram and Facebook, and I'll let you introduce yourself and what you do for work.
Thanks, Barry. I'm Abigail. I own Superficial LLC. It's a company I started way back in high school, pending a name change, but that's not important right now. I do all things beauty. So I do custom cuts, extensions, colors, makeup artistry. I'm heavy in the bridal industry, but my sole focus is helping people look and feel their best, bringing their heart to their sleeve.
Sure. How did you come up with the name? What was the genesis of that?
Interesting. So my mom taught English, and so we were not allowed to use little words in my house. They were always the big word growing up. And so we kind of joked about how most of the stuff I did was superficial. Makeup, hair, ripping up magazines. I did all my friends' hair. I destroyed a few bathrooms in high school with red box dye. I have replaced those bathroom features. But that's really where the name came from, and it's stuck, and I've just ran with it.
Yeah, so it has deep roots and personal meaning.
I guess.
You can bring that to your business.
I'm not very superficial, like at my core, but the surface stuff I do, yeah, it reads that way.
Sure. What's like one thing that inspires you or drives you or that you feel could benefit others for your business?
I think it's connection. I think connection is huge in any business. It's about what you know and who you know and how you can bring what you know to the people you know. Because we all have something that we need to share. And I think that sometimes we can communicate some of that stuff without even using words. And that comes with our appearance and how we show up and represent ourselves and the way we represent others.
You're not superficial. That was a deep answer. I like that. So in the last 12 months, what has been your favorite project, or what is one that made you feel like I love what I do?
I guess in the last year, I've opened my own studio. So I now have a little spot in Rogers, and I'm working for myself. And I have some people that work with me, and I've been able to make wonderful connections. And that has kind of been a pinnacle time for me in branching out and being not necessarily on my own, because it feels like, okay, I'm going into this little box and I'm going to be by myself. I've worked in collaboration salons with up to 44 other stylists, and I felt like I was going to be missing out on community by being in a space by myself, and I feel like being by myself and really refining my focus and getting down to my core values has only increased the amount of people I've been able to work with.
Yeah.
So I almost got little, and now I'm getting big again, but in my own way.
Yeah, I had a employer one time, and he would say, sometimes in life you got to slow down to go faster. So it sounds like a parallel there, but
absolutely.
Okay.
I'm hoping nobody sees my paddle under my smooth waves,
Shout out to Jeff.
Thanks, Jeff.
So if I had hair,
yes, that would be helpful.
Or okay. So if I had hair or wanted to glow up, I believe is the phrase.
Yes.
If I wanted to glow up, how would I find you, contact you, set an appointment? How would that?
Pretty much everything's on social media. If you Google me, I am Googleable. I'm right there at the top. All of the rest of my social media handles and booking links are right there. So you can Google me at Superficial LLC. And you don't need hair. You've got a beard. You've got plenty of hair. There's things we can do.
Thank you. That makes me feel seen.
You are seen.
Oh, very cool. So you mentioned bridal stuff.
Yes.
What portion of your business would you say, or general percentage of how much time you spend doing that? Do you prefer to do that? Do you have a favorite service to provide?
I love it all. I will say I'm glad that weddings are reserved for weekends. So I take care of my regular clients and I meet new clients throughout the week, but it's nice to just get up early on a Saturday. My sole focus is one person and that really special day for them. And then I get off early from a work perspective. But it's really nice to kind of go on that journey with a bride from trial to the wedding day and just kind of walk through that process with them for such a big moment of their life. I would say it's probably 50% of my business at this point. I'm in the throes of wedding season now. My last wedding for this year is actually the end of December. So, I mean, there is no more
You're booked.
wedding season. It's pretty much year round.
Sure.
COVID kind of changed that for everybody.
Yeah.
And shout out to the Friday weekend, wedding weekend people. Weddings on Fridays are awesome.
Do you ever do destination weddings?
I've done 2. If someone wants to take me to Dubai, I'm available.
And there's something else with that. Not a serious question. Are bridezillas real?
Yes.
How do you deal with a bridezilla?
Patiently. I think that requires prayer, and you have to remember what the focus is. And usually a bridezilla is just a scared little girl.
So you have to invoke God to be able to get through it, is what I'm hearing.
Absolutely.
That's amazing. Well, what other questions would you guys have to go on air?
Makeup or hair? What do I prefer? You know, I started with the intent of just being a makeup artist, but while I was in beauty school, I have a natural affinity to hair. And I've learned to enjoy it a lot more than I thought I would. I thought, wow, this is work. I don't know that I want to go to work and work every day. This doesn't feel fun, but I've learned to love it, and it has been my bread and butter for almost 19 years. And I can't imagine doing anything else.
No, I feel like there's not a lot of people that can say that. So it sounds like you found a good path.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I think you have to have both to complement each other to some degree. But I also take great enthusiasm in being well-rounded as a stylist. So you can call me and I know enough about all of it that I can either point you in the right direction or help you out.
Great. Any other?
So I have a question. So I can't remember the show, but Clinton and Stacey.
Yes. What not to wear.
What not to wear. Were you doing that before?
So I started in runway production. So I worked with Posh Fashion Group. We actually started in the Waterbury building. I worked with Angela Evans. And that really taught me a lot firsthand. So I worked in that sector for quite some time. But I'm a mom, I have kids. And so this is a little more refined. And it's definitely a lifestyle, less of a career. So I actually have my bachelor's in fashion design and business management. So I do love all of it. I love the editorial. I love working with photographers. I love talking to people about just getting dressed in the morning. Because I think that's huge. And I think once you can show up for yourself authentically, your world shifts.
I have a question.
Yes.
If your dream client is listening right now,
what would you want them to know about working with you?
That's a great question. My sole desire is to help my dream client recognize themselves and see themselves in real time, the way the world can see them.
So I want to know if we can find out here on Spotlight, the first to know, just no longer to be Superficial LLC, what is it going to be?
Let's go. First time.
I can't tell you that yet today. I have 3 names into the Secretary of State. And we'll see.
So whichever lands, you're going to go with it?
Whichever one they approve, yes. Thanks, Barry.
Cool.
Hey, it's Will with the Podcast Crew team. Spotlight is a vidcast shot at the Podcast Crew Studios in Minneapolis. We would love for you to be our guest. Email us at the email address on your screen below to get a copy of the upcoming schedule. It's free, it's easy, and it's a great way to try out a podcast or a vidcast with our pro team. We do an in-person, in-studio version if you're in the Twin Cities area, and also an online version if you're somewhere else. We'd love to have you, hear your story, and help you start your podcast journey. Thanks. Get in touch today.